stage lights. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Alan's leaving us again, but he'll come back. I'm Jennifer Ty. I'm the founder of the Green Room Social Club, and this is our monthly Connections and Cocktails mixer and get to know our community nonprofit organizations. And we started this a couple of months ago. I started this and decided that it was important to highlight different nonprofit organizations within our community, things that are important to what's important to me and what I feel is important to those that I'm surrounded with. And that includes downtown Placerville as one of those very important issues. So we have Merchants on Main organization as our highlighted organization tonight. So welcome all of our local merchants and business owners. Thank you for being here. And we have Elena and Alan with us. And I'll have them introduce who they are and what local businesses you own here on Main Street. And then we'll talk a little bit more about Main Street Merchants, the organization, how it came about, and how we can help the organization as a community. So, Elena, you are with what local business? Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Elena. I have Art Studio 360, which is just a few doors up. I've had it since 2018, but I've had my artwork there since 2014. Time flies when you're having fun. So I've really come to love Main Street. I didn't grow up here, but I feel like I have done a lot of growing here. So this has been a lot of fun.
So Studio 360, Art Studio. And then Alan, where are you from on Main Street and what's your background?
Yes. So Alan Ming, with my wife Patty, we own Creekside Studio. We're currently at Creekside Place up by Timmy's Brown Bag in the Lighthouse. We'll soon be moving across the street, almost directly across the street, to a bigger place with some street frontage, so looking forward to that. We've been in the area, El Dorado County, almost 30 years now, but relatively new to Main Street. We opened our gallery about 18 months ago, and just fallen in love with the small town and the people we've met, and look really forward to being part of a successful movement to revitalize Main Street moving forward.
Love that. Love that. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. I am also a local business owner on Main Street and part of Merchants on Main organization. I'm a member. So tell us a little bit more about the new Merchants on Main organization, because it just formed within the past couple of years and came about after a lot of history and other people doing other things. And now this is the only organization that has formal designation with the mission of...
You want our mission statement?
Yeah. I mean the high level overview of Merchants on Main organization.
Glasses. Okay. Our mission statement. Official. I was told I should probably read it because I do not have it memorized. Placerville Merchants on Main organization's mission is to create, support, and sustain a vibrant and visible downtown through collaborative membership, community engagement, and unique events, ensuring a vital and welcoming, authentic, historic downtown Placerville. So we formed almost 4 years ago now.
It's been a long road.
It's been a long road. Well, maybe it's 3 years ago. But anyway, there was another merchant organization here, or downtown organization that wasn't thriving.
And they were previously managing events, and
they did a lot.
They did a lot, and they had some funding from the city, and they were doing all the things, and then they weren't. And
then they weren't.
Now
it's kind of a complicated thing because a lot of situations changed.
And it's just changed in its history, but that organization does not exist any longer, and now Merchants on Main was formed as a 501c6.
We are a 501c6. We had a board. We formed a board of 5 members, 5 local business owners, and went through the process first of incorporating in California, and then it took about 8 months to go through the process of filing for nonprofit status with the state and with the IRS. And we do have our 501c6 nonprofit status now. The difference between a C6 and a C3 is we are not a public benefit. We are for the benefit of our membership, and which for us is the merchants in downtown Placerville. That is what our benefit is. But we also benefit the community because we feel like that is a part of who we are, and it is of vital importance to downtown to have that community engagement, to have the community around us thriving as well as us. So it's a mutual thing.
That's a great point because, and I've been there on and off from the beginning of the formation, and now work with the events committee, and we've kind of branched off and created other divisions and dividing and conquer of getting things done because it's a big job. And a lot of the conversations that happen in those meetings amongst the merchants are, how can we get more people to enjoy downtown? And, selfishly, right?
Mhm.
We're marketing, you're a marketing organization, and our job is to build up the merchants in downtown. And that it incorporates the community and what the community wants, and looking at all of those aspects along with the economic impacts of everything that's done.
Mhm.
So you went through a couple of years of paperwork.
Mhm.
And after that paperwork, there was even more growth and change, and the board changed and members changed, and we're in the midst of a membership drive, right?
We're always in the membership drive.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? What are you looking for your members, and how does someone become a member?
So if you're a merchant, a retail restaurant merchant that falls within our bylaws, if you will, as a voting member, you can reach out to myself, again, Alan at Creekside Place, or Greg and Loretta Razak at Placerville Antiques to join. But we're also looking to expand and modify our bylaws to have non-voting members. So if you fall outside of our sphere of influence, or maybe you're a nonprofit organization, could be a spouse of somebody that owns a business here on Main Street, that you'd have the opportunity to join our organization and be part of Merchants on Main. The challenge is, as long as you are considered for the benefit of the merchants, then you can join our organization. So that's something new we're looking at to kind of grow our membership base beyond just the merchants.
Is that like a sponsor member? So
basically, yeah.
So you could have we're going to name a big corporation, ABC Corporation, XYZ Corporation can say, I want to sponsor and be a member, and write a big check.
I think being a sponsor is different than being a member.
So you can call it a sponsor member. They're members.
What we're looking at is more associate members, so business owners who fall within our outside of our boundaries, or organization or businesses that don't fall into the parameters, which are retail. So if you don't have a retail product that you're selling, and that's just the way the bylaws are written. But there's people who are like business or building owners who want to participate and be involved and support. And so we're trying to adapt and include as many people as we can. And so that's what we're looking at doing, because we are an inclusive group. So, yeah.
And how much participation do we have from the merchants that are business owners? Do we have 20 members, 20%? Is it a big number, or do we need more?
Always need more. I mean, Ideally, every business on Main Street would be a member. That is the lofty goal. We know that's not going to happen. We know that there's the reality. Some people just are not joiners. No matter what you tell them, what they want, they will never join, and we accept that. But then there's a lot of people, they just need to be reminded, hey, join. We have something for you, and you have something for us, and we can help each other. So.
Yeah, and what I found with joining is finding the right spot that you're good at and what you can bring to the table, and really, minding our business per se. Alan's been amazing at coordinating our silent auction that we recently had. And a lot of our Main Street merchants and business owners donated a lot of items and beyond. And we were able to raise how much for Merchants on Main organization through that silent auction or through that live auction?
Yeah, so the goal, we have the Mother's Day Spring Fling coming up this Sunday, and we didn't want to bring in outside vendors, food trucks, alcohol, things of that nature. We really wanted to focus on the merchants and the businesses here on Main Street and allow the restaurants, wineries, and bars to have mimosa specials, brunch specials, and drive the people that come down here on Mother's Day into the businesses and engage with the local businesses versus having more of a street fair kind of environment.
So enhancing the downtown experience
Enhancing
for our
downtown
visitors.
experience, yeah. So being that we, we weren't looking to charge vendor fees and sponsorships.
It's not a
and
money-making event.
Right. The ways that you would traditionally raise money, we didn't have those opportunities. So we had the silent auction or the live auction, which was hosted by Jen, and we had the professional live auctioneer,
yeah.
Greg. It was amazing. We were able to raise $2,500 to help fund the Mother's Day Spring Fling event this Sunday. Yeah.
So, and that brings us to the next huge topic of conversation. There's membership dues, and we pay annual dues to be members. And then there's events that, like the live auction and the upcoming silent auction that'll be at the Carey House this weekend.
Ambiance
patio.
Patio.
It's Ambiance Patio now.
Yes.
Okay. So it's outdoor in on the side of the Carey House at the Ambiance Patio for the silent auction. That'll be the additional fundraiser for the items that were held back or moved from the live auction that didn't sell that day.
Correct.
So that'll be a continuous fundraiser. And the goal, I think, when we started this was 10,000, 15,000-ish.
Yeah, we were hoping for a minimum of 5,000, 10,000 was kind of the
With our
ultimate
first
goal.
attempt,
Yeah.
right? So we're
Yeah.
on our way.
Yeah.
And that is directly benefiting downtown events
Correct.
and downtown things to bring people downtown and enjoy the downtown experience.
Yes.
Anything else that we're looking to, any projects that we're working on as outside of permits and all of the fees that go along with those events, because those are expensive, working on October.
Yes, so we have actually a couple things going on. So many of you are probably familiar with the third Saturday Art Walk, which Elena and Ruth put a lot of effort into, again, building a foundation there. We're expanding upon that and turning it into third Saturdays on Main, so it's more of an all-day event. So we have during the day, it's focused more on family activities, kids, things of that nature. And then in the evening, we shift a little bit more to Main Street after hours, if you will. And it's the art walk, having music, pub crawls. We're working on getting a pub crawl going every third Saturday. So we want to make that really a mainstay of Main Street. We're also looking at kicking off a Shop Local campaign later this year. So we'll have more information on that as we kind of get that going. And we also want to get the locals back. Main Street, obviously, tourism is a big part of Main Street, but we've lost a lot of the locals over the years. And my wife and I at our shop, we constantly hear, I haven't been down here in years. I haven't been down here since COVID. And so we want to start a locals night out or a campaign that really focuses on bringing the locals in. The biggie, of course, is Oktoberfest. We know we had some hiccups last year, unfortunately, but the Merchants on Main organization will be sponsoring Oktoberfest this year. We've already got some partnerships going with local breweries, local wineries, and we're looking for sponsors if there's anybody out there that wants to help sponsor the Oktoberfest event. But we want to bring Oktoberfest back to what it was, with all the traditional Oktoberfest activities, the wiener dog races, the costume contest, beer stein holding contest,
In
etc.
September, though, right?
This is September 20th,
September
which is
20th.
officially
Which
the
is
kickoff of
traditionally and
Oktoberfest.
officially.
But we are also adding to it an El Dorado County flair, if you will. So we want to add the El Dorado County Harvest Festival theme to it and bring kind of the Apple Hill down to Main Street and really have it be a kickoff, not just an Oktoberfest celebration, but a kickoff to the El Dorado County Harvest Festival season as well.
Lots of things we're working on. Flower baskets.
Mm-hmm.
We just did flower
Merchants
baskets.
on Main, yeah.
We did. So thank you. We sold it. We sold all the flower baskets between Sacramento Street and Bedford. We raised enough money to put all of those baskets up. If there's anybody else out there that's interested in sponsoring, please let us know. We would love to extend it all the way up to Cedar Ravine if we can raise enough funds to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. So I will mention that everyone who sits on these meetings or goes to the monthly meetings for the Merchants on Main or branches off or walks Main Street and has conversations on a daily basis, passes out flyers, shares social media posts. We're all volunteering. We're all doing this to benefit our community because we love what we do here and we love what you do. And we love that all of you come downtown and experience Main Street. And it's a very unselfish volunteering that you're doing. And I see a lot of familiar.
Unselfish.
Well, what's that?
Sort of unselfish.
Well, it truly.
We are business owners too.
It truly is, though. But why are you in this business? I mean, you're an artist and you love art, and that's all I hear from in these meetings when we sit together. We're not talking about money and high-level marketing campaigns. We're talking about how do we bring our community together? How do we scrape together enough money to provide this fun event for everybody? I mean, this is really the focus. And how do we accomplish this? Because we're really dealing with our lives and our businesses and everything else that goes on that is a challenge in life, right? We've been in hospitals and, life. We've been lifing. We have parents. We have kids. So I applaud all of you in this room that are doing the hard work, because I know I was there for part of it and then wasn't able to be there, and the slack was picked up by others. So it really does take a community and focusing on what's important, the high level. Is there anything you want to add?
So one of the things that we talked about, just making sure we communicate, is that it's really important to us that we work with the city. It is a collaboration. It's a mutual benefit relationship that we have. When the city does well, we do well. When we do well, the city does well. And so we've had really a great experience so far with the people that we're working with in the city staff. And, they've been very supportive. And, we all have constrictions on what we can do. So it's like, how do we keep going and work within the limits,
guidelines.
the limits that, just reality has put on us, because we're all kind of facing this reality of, tighter budgets and things cost more. And so how do we work together to get as much, most bang for our buck? How can we really make this all work for all of us the best way? And so I just want to make sure that we shared that's also part of our goal, and it's important to us that that we're all working together.
Yeah, and there's been some change in the city and who manages which aspects of the events. There's been changes to the parameters of what types of events, how many events, which events have been approved. So they're really dialing in the guidelines, which is helpful for the organizations who are coming in and putting on these types of events. So it's absolutely anything but an adversarial relationship. I've witnessed it and been in the meetings. They have been helpful and with the same intentions of how do we benefit our community the most, and how do we bring economic benefit to our downtown district. So I would agree with that. And I think they're still dialing it in and we'll find out. I mean, since COVID, everything was broken, right? We haven't known what to expect every single day since then as business owners. Raise your hand, clap your hands if you're in the same boat. So yeah, I think everything's changing and for the better. And you guys are doing your part as the organization. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Alan, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I think two things. I think one is, there's a lot of different efforts and initiatives out there with the same common goal, whether it's the Merchants on Main, whether it's Chamber of Commerce, whether it's the city, whether it's the Placerville Economic Advisory Committee. We're all trying to accomplish the same goal, but we may be approaching it from different angles. And I think that collaborative effort and being open to communicate with each other and work together is an important factor. And so that's one of the things that we want to kind of try to focus on and achieve moving forward. And I think the second is just participation. And it doesn't have to be, writing a check for $50. It doesn't have to be coming down and spending 8 hours volunteering for an event here on Main Street. It can simply be sharing an Instagram post or a Facebook.
You're showing your
post,
age,
right? And I'm not a social media guy. It can just out in the community. It can just be telling your neighbors and your friends and your coworkers about what we're trying to achieve down here on Main Street. And the old saying, "It takes a village," but it truly does. And I think we need to kind of come out of our isolation boxes, if you will, and realize that we need to work together as a community and focus on community-based events. Again, I'll repeat myself. Yes, tourism is a big part of Placerville and Main Street specifically, but we really need to get the community back involved and get all these different groups and resources to communicate and work together to achieve these goals moving forward.
Absolutely. Second that, third that. And we have other events on Main Street that are happening. I don't want to discount or pretend that those aren't happening. There's still car shows happening. There's still other events that Merchants on Main as an organization just isn't involved in, but definitely will be promoting and sharing amongst the merchants and making sure that the community is informed. That's part of what we do as business owners and as the organization, supporting other events that are happening outside our doors because it benefits all of us. Knowing what is going on benefits us most. I think that's the biggest challenge, is getting the word out to everybody.
Yeah, we want all the events, whether it's a Merchants on Main event or it's a car show or the Christmas tree lighting, whatever it is, to help focus on the merchants here on Main Street. And so, we've reached out to all the different event organizers and looking for opportunities on how we can work with them to make their event successful, but also make it successful for all the merchants on Main.
And I think that's what everybody's working on towards right now, the city, the Merchants on Main, or the business owners. There's a lot of that. So thank you. We have a couple of questions. We have so many great businesses and community members represented. Yes, Jack. Jack with Midnight Tours. Thank you.
So I was just thinking just now, I was watching a presentation on Placerville's economy, and a good way, because that's something that I try and do is as much outreach as I can. I'm focusing on a project right now, so I need more, but with that said, not everybody goes on Facebook. A lot of people get wrapped up in their day-to-day, and I remember on the Placerville presentation it brought up how something along the lines of most of here is divided between county jobs, forestry included, which is federal and state and all that. But there's also Marshall, and then also there's the Fruit Growers Association. So reaching out to these groups, if you just reach out to the fruit growers and Marshall, you're hitting at least half the town just in that, because you're hitting the agricultural section, and then a huge chunk of that is medical. There's only 10, you know what I mean? So there's different groups that are untapped and unutilized and unaware. So
fantastic suggestions and
Yeah.
ideas, Jack. That reminds me, we have the monthly meeting, right, for Merchants on Main, where ideas like this, I think there's an open forum and maybe even the need for a marketing committee, like a breakout. We have someone who's graciously taken that up, Audra, with Love to Death, another one of our local business owners, and helping. So we, really, again, it takes a village. Thank you for that idea. Do you want to plug your next meeting?
I just wanted to respond to that, and thank you for that.
I just, you guys are talking and it just.
Yeah. Well, we have had communication with both groups on different topics, so the ice has been broken there. It's just a matter of getting with the right person, because different members of those organizations have actually reached out to us, and like with the fruit growers on the winery side, we've worked with a bunch of them with our art and wine event that happens in November, that Ruth and I have been putting on, and Alan's come on board with in the last year. And anyway, and then we've had conversations with Marshall too. But I think your idea of tapping more into that is great, and we will definitely pursue that.
Marshall's going to be a little more tricky to figure out how they work.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the fruit growers, especially to go to Alan's point, for the harvest season, I think that is pretty much just, that makes too much sense. Marshall's going to be another thing in itself. But if you get these communities at least aware of what you're doing, maybe the organization won't. Fruit growers will. Marshall probably not. But and then just persistence. We keep doing it. Before you know it, people come here for, let's say, possible rumbles. And in the next couple of years, we start a little motorcycle thing. Just like the car show.
You just created a whole new event.
Right.
you gotta. Alan's our head of that committee,
Yeah.
so yeah, no.
But he's right. I mean, the reaching out to the community has been a big challenge. I mean, Audra's done a great job with Instagram, and Elena does a lot on Facebook, and we do flyers, and we've done Gold Panner, we've done Mountain Democrat, and we still get people that are
Don't
down
know.
the day of, and they're like, "What's going
What's
on
happening?
today? I had no
Marketing
idea there
is
was
such
an event."
it's such a difficult animal, and
So-
it's
yeah.
changing constantly,
It's
and
rolling the
really.
dice every time.
Well, and the answer is everything, and you got to
Yeah.
have a big budget, right? You have to be out there
Yeah.
in print and mail, and even old-fashioned making phone calls and text messages. I mean, emails, everything. You have to be everywhere because people are out there. We all have, busy lives, and you can't catch the same people in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Yes, Vince.
What is a non-voting membership cost? Is that annual?
If we
we
committed
haven't
to that
had
yet?
a board vote on that yet. We're still working on that.
$1,000. No.
So the regular membership is only $75 a year. It will be less than that because you don't get the voting benefit. So that kind of gives you, it will be less than $75 a year.
Our largest anchor tenants on Main Street members?
I'm sorry, repeat your question.
Largest, like, anchor tenant?
Is the largest anchor tenant a member?
All the largest anchor tenants?
Are the largest anchor tenants.
I don't know who you would consider an anchor tenant.
Well,
Okay, so like, the hardware store.
Yes, the hardware store is a member.
yeah.
Carolina's, bigger stores, right?
Ambiance
Most
is
of our
a
anchor
member.
stores,
Bonkers is a member.
Yeah.
Art
all of
galleries
these
are
big
members.
stores that we're referring to are really mom and pop local.
Yeah.
They've been owned by families for many, many years.
Probably 20-25%.
Yeah,
Yeah, about 20-25%.
Okay, on my email list, I have of merchants in our between Rector Street and Cedar Ravine. I have about 80 emails. We have some of those are duplicates, though. Some say 70, and we have about 28 members right now. So.
And how many merchants or storefronts do we have in all of downtown Placerville? Do we know that?
I don't know.
These are questions that maybe the economic impact what are they called? The Economic
Peak.
Development,
Yeah.
Placerville
Economic Advisory Committee.
Advisory Committee. So it's made up of various members of the community that represent sections of Placerville and downtown. It extends down Placerville Drive into the fairgrounds. That's still the city as well. So this peak, bye Jack, thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
The peak committee is more inclined to have the nitty gritty and the analysis that you're asking and probably looking for. This organization mainly focuses on boots on the ground marketing, and we're trying to see what's going to help you in your store, what's going to help you as a business owner, really utilizing our combined experience. And those numbers and all of that analysis is at such a higher level that I don't even think the city has it. I've asked.
I have to say, those emails, I built that email list, and I'd say 75% of it was me spending time digging to
and
find
you built it
emails
from
for
zero.
people. I built it from 5, starting out with 5 emails. But it's like some places don't have an email. Some businesses, I go in there and no, we don't have an email address. Like, okay, how are we going to communicate with you? But
you're going to come knock on their door like old school, and you're going to have a conversation,
and
right?
And that takes a lot
all the
of
things.
time. It takes a lot of time to. And that, we have been doing that. And Alan's been doing that a lot lately. But I mean, in the beginning, I was doing that a lot. I spent a lot of time walking, and it takes a lot of time because, to have a real conversation with somebody, you're talking at least 15 minutes.
It's old school networking.
Sometimes a half an hour, and so it takes a lot of time to do that, to really have those conversations. You can't do it in an hour. And, we're running businesses at the same time. So
back to that. And some do. They have been beating the streets.
It's not an excuse. I'm just, this is the reality.
It goes back to really what your wheelhouse is, what you can bring to the table. Yeah. You followed that paperwork through the state of California to get to a 501c6. Mm-hmm. And it took you years to do that. And you ran permits for the last events. So that's, you know what I mean? And Alan, you've walked up and down the streets and you have knocked on doors and you've worked tirelessly. Audra's doing some things on Instagram that I don't even know the magic she's working because that's not my wheelhouse. But that's the beauty of this organization. And thank you for asking. And the question was, so it's beneficial to walk door to door? Yes. And it comes back to all the things. This is a grassroots organization. And it's comprised of all of us who are beating the streets and showing up every day and trying to figure out how to make our community happy. Yep. And by the way, maybe have a business that we get paid.
I really need to shout out Greg and Loretta over there too, because Greg is our membership chair, and they have spent a lot of time pounding the pavement and talking to people too, and they've been doing a great job. So,
Greg, do you want to come up and say anything about membership, or do you have anything you want to say?
No, you can't. I have to talk
Greg,
into the
Greg,
mic.
you're an auction. I will give up my seat. Alan, sit.
Greg dressed up. He's got a show.
Okay. Greg, who are you?
Showered too.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us who you are and what's your business.
Greg Rizak and Loretta Rizak, Placerville Antiques and Collectibles. We are also in charge with the merchants of membership and promotion. On top of that, we came up with a newsletter a few months ago. So we try to get it out at the first of every month of all the activities that are coming up on Main Street, city council meetings if it pertains to Main Street, park and rec announcements, if there's repairs on the bathrooms, expansion of the dog parks or whatever they're doing. We'll have that updated in the newsletters too, to keep everyone informed.
Where are you putting this newsletter? Where is it going?
We're walking the streets. We drop off everywhere with because yours goes in the big chair since you're not open when we come by.
I haven't seen this newsletter.
We're not coming by twice, man.
I have a mail drop. I have a mail drop. You can drop it in the mail drop.
Where's that?
It's right behind the big chair.
We didn't know that. Now we know.
Now you
Goes
know.
behind the big
See,
chair.
they need to know. We need to communicate. How can we help you help us?
Well,
Thank you.
Loretta was making a game of it. She's making paper airplanes and just launching them at the businesses and hope it sticks. It's too bad Ryan left. I didn't know he was leaving. I had a question for him, and it's
We're
something-
live online and it's recorded.
It's okay. So it's something
it'll be recorded out
This is
there.
a pet peeve, I think, for a lot of us, is the parking. 2 hours isn't enough. If they can go 3 hours or go half day scheduling out of the parking garage, I think it would benefit us so much, because 2 hours isn't enough. And there you go. And
Well,
they never, and you know, they never go back to feed the meter, because you hear them in the stores all the time. They stopped, they went to the bathroom, they had something to eat.
And they get scared.
And yeah, they get scared, like, how aggressive is this guy? He says, well, you know, he carries a bullet in his pocket, and that's, you know.
So I think that the power of the merchants organization could possibly make that happen. And I think that if the merchants, and as a member, a membership coordinator, and who's looking to build membership,
Right.
if you had a membership base that was very much in favor of that through our merchants, I think that that voice would be very loud with the city
Right.
if you were able to go and present that.
And that's why I was hoping to hit Ryan up. What procedures do we go through? Instead of-
Elena's great at asking those questions of the city.
That's true. I mean, without going directly to the city council, you know, live, if we can just have a private meeting with these guys and see exactly what avenues we have to take. Because I think if they bumped it up to $500 or $5 for half a day, I think they're willing to pay it. When we went to San Diego, I don't know, what did that cost? About $18 for the day. And we're only there for a couple hours, so they're selling $18 fees all day long for that same space. So anyways, I think it'd be beneficial for all of us. Anyways, that was my piece.
Thank you. Did you have anything more you wanted to add about the Momo organization?
No, outside the fact that, you know, we do need more butts on board. I mean, it's a handful of people always. You know, just like any group, you know, PTA or whatever. You always have that core that just keeps busting their butt. And
I will also say money talks, though. You know, if
It
you're a
does.
merchant out there and you're not part of the Merchants on Main organization for, what was it, $75 for an
$75.
annual fee, you know that you have a voice, you have someone that you can go to that is representing you, and you have an ear that'll listen. And I think you don't have to show up every single meeting, because
Right.
that's, you know, a lot to ask. But if there's something that is important to you, you have a team of people that are advocating on your behalf, and I guarantee you're going to find somebody else that feels the same way as a business owner in downtown.
And you'll see us at the city council meetings too. When it pertains to all of us down here, we're down there fighting, or at least putting in our 2 cents, and hopefully they'll listen.
It's important. Somebody's got to do it. But, you know, we have conversations in back rooms and side meetings and sidewalks, and as we're walking down the street for 20 minutes and getting caught up, and we're listening to each other. So I think that's what's most important when we're out here with our mission and being business owners in downtown, communicating with each other, understanding what the community wants, and, you know, keep doing the good work.
Trying.
I'm going to circle back. Earlier, you asked about our next meeting, and our
Thank you,
next
Greg.
meeting is next Wednesday, May 14th at 6 p.m. at the Carey House in the Milton Room. And last month, if you weren't there, you missed the most amazing cinnamon rolls that Edward brought over and treated us all with. They were so good.
And where were
And
they
Sonda
from?
brought a little treat to share too, and we had a great conversation. So you never know what you're going to miss if you don't come. And so, yeah, next Wednesday at the Carey House in the Milton Room, and the Carey House is being very gracious and letting us reuse the room again. They've been very supportive, and yeah, and you know, providing us with water and setting up the room for us in a really more relaxed way than. It's not a formal business meeting. We sit at tables and we have a conversation and we share information, and it's a great way to share your concerns or your ideas and learn about what's going on Main Street and what we're doing.
So what is the website, or how can you be found for people to go check it out?
Website is very easy. It's just like our email, Placerville Merchants
It's so easy. Start over. Delete.
I started to give the email instead of the website, placervilleemergence.org, and the email is placervilleemergence@gmail. So it's really easy.
Okay.
And then on Instagram and Facebook, we're Placerville Merchants too. So,
Okay,
and then we
so
have our Main Street
search-
events account as well that Audra is running for us.
Perfect. So search up Placerville Merchants, and you'll hit something. Downtown or Placerville Events is the other handle.
It's the Main Street Events is
Main
the
Street
Instagram
Events.
account.
Main Street Events Instagram. So you can find out what's going on. Encourage you to also visit the city website. My gosh, we're getting tongue-tied. The city website, and the events for the rest of the year are coming soon. So we're trying to get back to fun and games in downtown, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right.
and so I do have events that are not our events per se. So like Girls Night Out is on there, other events that are on Main Street. But we're willing to share other events too that are on Main Street put on by other organizations if we get the information, because that's part of what I want, what I should say not me. It's not about me. But to share what is going on that's for everybody, all the different events. So
Right.
like we just had Taste of Maine and, the other events that are going to be on Main Street that impact us, but also benefit us and bring
Right.
people here.
We want everyone to know what's going on
Mhm.
down in our downtown.
Yep.
Right. And this Sunday is Spring Fling Mother's Day, so come on down. Lots of events outside starting at 11, goes into the evening. Yes?
It's 11 to 5. We have
Live music,
it's a
games.
bell tower closure. It's not a full street closure. We'll have music at the bell tower. We have a DJ from about 11 to about 2:33. We have Smoke and Violets playing from 3 to 5. We have the horse carriage
Stagecoach.
Stagecoach. Thank
Stagecoach.
you. The
Doing the
stagecoach
rounds.
rides available. We have the marshals coming down, silent auction, social media challenge, scavenger hunt. I think I said all this already.
And some
Um,
businesses that are usually closed are going to be open.
Mhm.
Yes.
So a festive, fun afternoon. The weather's going to be beautiful. It's like
And
79
I want to
degrees.
give a shout out to the Oddfellows, folks that know the old military surplus building owned by the Oddfellows. They are fixing that building up. They're going to have space available for lease, but they will be here this Sunday having an odds and ends sale, and it's an opportunity to get a peek at that building as well. And details to be determined, but we are talking about possibly having a seniors prom, not high school seniors, but seniors prom dance at the Oddfellows building later this year as well. So that would be a
Sounds fun.
lot of fun. Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We have Irish trad session on Sunday afternoon. So it's like an acoustic circle where they do an Irish trad. It's a jam, but they're not supposed to use that word because in Ireland, it's a trad thing. So I don't know. It's Irish.
That's all right.
So we're doing that on Mother's Day at 5, which will be fun. And I wanted to mention a shout out to I Love Placerville Facebook page. That's Angie with Pop Art, who is one of our loved business owners, and I have a cute little pants from her. And that's a great website for merchants to share events to, and anything that's going on downtown, because she'll share it. Just such a huge following. So a lot of us working towards the same goal. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you for sharing about Merchants on Main organization, and thank you to everyone who joined us, all of our business owners and community members. Thank you. You can find it live
Thank you.
online on the replay.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.